What is up, everybody? Welcome back. We have another episode, actually episode 2 of the Smoke Hour, not the Smoke Show, if you will. And y'all know who I am. This is your favorite everything, JR Wisdom. And I have my lovely co-host here, Tina Summers, the controversial Tina Summers, based off the comments that we've been hearing. So we're going to be talking about another controversial topic here tonight as well. You guys see the title, the thumbnails. The thumbnail doesn't matter. I'm handsome. She's good looking herself. So that's all we need to say. But before we jump into this topic, because this is something that I've talked about previously, guys, hit that like button right now. Quit playing with me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Do it right now. Let's run it up to 100. Quit playing with me. Also, as far as housekeeping rules, guys, listen. Y'all see everything down there at the bottom. You can support this channel by basically, following us, subscribing. Also, feel free to call in. This is a live call-in show. This is an interactive show. So feel free to do that as well. Don't waste any time with that. Follow us on social media platforms that are listed below. Just run it up to 100. Anyway, Miss Tina Summers, how are you doing this evening?
I'm great. How are you?
Awesome. So what did you think about the feedback from last week with the I know the comments, you're not a big fan of comments. So what did you think about the comments that I was sharing with you in reference to the topic?
I mean, everyone's a critic.
Everyone's a critic.
Everyone's a critic. Everyone has an opinion, and that's fine because that's what we're here for. I mean, I'm just giving my opinion, you're giving yours, and at the end of the day, I mean, that's just what people do.
True.
Yeah.
So it just rolls off like water on the back of a duck, right?
Yeah.
I can get it. I get it. Yeah, she don't care. That's what I'm saying. So be respectful in the comments in the chat this evening. You know what I'm saying? We're human beings, regardless if you feel that women are beneath you and things like that. Be respectful and things like that. Also, while you guys are in the chat, feel free to comment where you guys are checking in from, age, sex, gender, location. Like to hear from you in terms of that. You know what I mean? Always as usual. That's another housekeeping thing right there. I just wanted to get that out of the way. So this thing here that I brought you that I wanted to discuss with you, because we kind of hinted at it last week. We didn't really go into depth. Mm-hmm. The bros that have a certain speech pattern or talk a certain way. Mm-hmm. Why? What is up with that? Is it just a turnoff? Do you think it's disingenuous? Do you think it's corny? What is it? And not only you, from what you've heard from your contemporaries, other Black women. What's your thoughts on that? If brothers talk a certain way, i.e. proper or white,
I personally don't. I don't mind if a person has a certain, if they speak proper. I don't have an issue with that. Women that I've spoken with, they don't have an issue with that. I think that we label that as, or classify it as talking white when people talk proper. Mm-hmm. I just personally feel like if a person is, or a male has the voice of a person of a different race, it changes for me. So speaking proper is one thing, because I feel like you speak proper, I speak proper. I at least I feel as though I do. Speaking proper is one thing, but like, if I'm not able to distinguish between you and a male of a different race, i.e. a white person, then it's somewhat of a turnoff, because I feel like it's not necessarily, it's not even code switching at that point. It's more of a, I'm trying to be someone else. And with that, I don't feel as though a man that approaches me that sounds like that is really interested. Maybe he's just not been accepted by the people that he prefers.
Can you give me an example of this voice? Can you give me an example of how brother that you're saying. I'm not saying you're great with imitations, but I know you like to imitate folks.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me an example of how said guy would talk?
Like I said, so it's not so much as someone speaking proper. I don't know how to really give.
So
that.
is it so?
If
Let's name a
okay.
celebrity that anybody could identify with, for example.
A celebrity that anybody can identify with
that talks,
speaks like that.
That speaks like that.
Oh, I don't really.
About Tiger Woods.
Okay. Yeah.
I know you say you never heard Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I've never heard Russell.
You never heard Russell Wilson.
I've never heard him speak. I don't know why. That's weird. But yeah.
So Tiger Woods, you would definitely say.
Oh, absolutely.
So it would make the box drier than the Sahara Desert.
Right. And I don't think that he, someone who spoke like that really is interested in a Black woman.
Why do you feel that way though? Why do you feel that a guy that talks proper, because he's still Black at the end of the day. He's still a Black man.
Does he know that?
So here's the thing I think that brothers are having an issue with, right? Mm-hmm. Because they're like, okay, I talk this way, mm-hmm. but if I choose to date a white woman, mm-hmm. there's a problem. But mm-hmm. if I want to date a Black woman, there's a problem too, because I'm fucking corny. Right. So what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I imagine that would be hard for a person. It would be difficult, but I would think that if they want to, that takes it to a whole nother place when you say, oh, if I date a white person, it would be a problem. And if I date a Black person, I mean, I've dated outside of my race, mm-hmm. and, but that person didn't speak. He didn't sound like a white man. Mm-hmm. He just sounded regular. Mm-hmm. Like he wasn't trying to be Black. He was just being himself. So, I mean, and obviously that's the most important thing, is to be yourself. Mm-hmm. But as far as what you're saying, that would be a difficult space to be in. I imagine that a Black woman probably would have a hard time taking him serious because of the way he speaks. And who knows, maybe, a white woman as well. I mean, I really don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, because I feel like, and I can't speak for white women because I'm not a white woman, but right. I imagine that a white woman would probably want to be with a Black man because she wants to be with a man who identifies as Black, who carries himself like a Black man, and who maybe embraces his race, his culture, and that sort of thing.
Right.
I mean,
no, I understand. Yeah, I was just asking. Hey, really quick, I saw we had a caller in, guys. I'm going to be accepting calls. I see you, Gunny. Somebody else called in just now. I don't know if he's a Marine, Gunny J. Wells. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming you're a Marine with that name Gunny, but unless you like to shoot motherfuckers. But that it is what it is. But I'm gonna bring you on shortly, guys. I'm taking calls, so don't think that I don't see you guys in the background. Stay on. I'm gonna bring you on eventually. So feel free to call in. Shout out to the average bro. And this is why Black women are highest divorced and the least married. Because you turning down a proper talking Tiger Woods, Russell Wilson type bro that Tiger Woods was piping down all the snow bunnies. So you can't say that he was a good dude. So I can't say Tiger Woods, because Tiger Woods that's a hell of a porn star name too, by the way, Tiger Woods. But back to what I was saying. So if a man approaches you and because you gave me an example the other day, mm-hmm. which I want you to tell if you would like to share with everyone here. If a brother, he's handsome, mm-hmm. he's handsome, fits your type, but as soon as he comes out of the mouth with this speech, and I'm not saying this guy is the case, but right. he's handsome. Fits the bill, he looks successful, so on and so forth, but you just can't get past the fact that he talks like a square. So,
and let me be clear, proper is totally different from sounding like you want to be someone else. Please
so clear that up for everybody who's watching.
Yeah, so
proper and
just speaking as though, like, if I'm on the phone with you and I can't tell if you are Black or white or, mm-hmm. Whatever, that's what I'm referring to. Because I mean, a man speaking proper is obviously I personally prefer a man who speaks proper, but not someone who just, if I'm sitting here having a conversation with you and I just can't even tell if you're a Black man or not, that's what I'm referring to. It just makes me, it's just, I don't know. It feels like there could never be more of a connection. I mean, and there possibly could, but I just feel like what types of things are you really into?
Right.
So what do we really have in common? What is it that,
So that's like do you feel that other Black women feel the same way? It would be an automatic disqualifier?
I think so. I think so, but I'm just saying that it's possible that people may be open to it, but it goes back to what we were talking about last week. I mean, is that what you're going for? Is that what you're interested in? Is that what you're attracted to? Because I mean, you have to listen to this every single day. If I walked around
especially in bed, give me that ass. Let me hit it. Turn around. Can you spit on it? Hey, I'll just cut it up, man. Anyway, what you said, you have to listen to that. You have to listen to that every day.
You have to listen to it every day. I mean, if I walked around sounding like a 3-year-old, like, would that turn you on?
Like helium? So you're saying you guys have helium?
Like a high-pitched voice. I'm just saying, like, if that were something that, I walk around and that's just the way my voice sounds, like, you have to listen to that every day.
This is awful.
Yeah. So, I mean, take that into consideration, guys, because it's not about, this just turns me off for the moment. Imagine being in a relationship with someone and you literally have to listen to that. If that's something that annoys you, and I mean, there's certain sounds that I just, cringe.
So would it feel better coming from a white guy though? It'll be more natural?
It would be more natural.
Coming from white
because
guy.
I imagine it feels a little forced. And I did see someone on here say that, it's possible that a person was raised in a certain area, which could potentially put them in a position where, or they were raised in a household.
Which is what I said.
You did say that. Yeah. So, they could have been raised in a household with members of that household being of a different race or what have you. And that's just the way that they talk. It's a difference between talking that way because that's just how you were raised. And I mean, I really don't know because I imagine that they would just sound like that.
Yeah. Ricky, I'll give you an example. Ricky Williams. I don't know. Are you familiar with Ricky Williams? I told you I did a session with him. Y'all know who Ricky Williams is. Phenom Heisman Trophy winner. Played for the Saints, the Dolphins, smoked weed. And obviously, but he talks like a white dude. He's just like a surfer dude. He's from San Diego, but he also dates white women too. So that's different. I think I'm not saying he's exclusive, but he does date white women. You know what I mean? So,
and they typically a man who has that type of, who speaks like that is interested in a white woman. Not to say anything is wrong with that, but I mean, that's mainly what he's most likely going for. Gotcha. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Yeah.
I'm about to, before I bring on this first call here, Tina Summers, Gunny J. Wells here, I'm going to read some of these super chats here. So we got Sean Brown. This is sad as hell. The fact that being a Black man is synonymous with being improper if he speaks well.
That's not what we said. Yeah.
I'm going to expound on that after this next one. You know what I'm saying? And I think I read this one. Somebody said this about you earlier. The average bro, I bet her mom went to 94 Freaknik. Somebody commented that on a video earlier, and I said it to you that they said, I bet your mom went to Freaknik or whatever. And we were talking about that earlier. So, damn.
I have to ask her.
Yeah.
Let's see if that's what she did.
She was doing some strange things for a piece of change.
I think a lot of people's moms have done a lot of things that we don't know anything about.
Exactly. I can definitely agree. Your mom's is like, I mean, somebody's future mom, she was getting her cheeks clapped last night, is getting her cheeks clapped right now. Probably is in a threesome. Probably is licking some guy's crack right now. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you never know. But anyway, shout out to everybody on here. I was reading that. I appreciate the super chats. We're gonna go ahead and bring on the first caller here. Gunny J. Wills, talk to me, sir. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, thanks for taking my call. First and foremost, I don't want to be disrespectful. I do disagree with the title of the video. I support your channel, but I agree with what she's saying. I think that she's saying that she's talking about dialect. So if you meet somebody from Jamaica or Trinidad, they speak English, but based on how they based on how they speak, you understand where they come from.
Right.
So based on how a person sounds, they normally identify with white culture. I agree with that, and I understand where she's coming from. But the problem that I have with that is that that's not a disqualifier for a man of good character based on where he's from. Now, he might identify with white culture or, whatever the case may be, but that doesn't disqualify him from being a good man. And the stereotype with Black people is that we don't know how to speak English properly.
Right.
And it feeds into the negative stereotype about Black people in general. So I just think that we're just doing a disservice to ourselves by promoting that message. That's my point.
Understood. You got anything to say about that?
So 100% agree with what he's saying with regards to it's not a disqualifier. It's not. So like I said a little bit earlier, if that is something that, I mean, it doesn't make him a bad person. It doesn't disqualify him as a man or a wholesome person or a great guy. But if that's something that you're not necessarily turned on by, you have to like listen to that all the time. Like even if it's someone, like you said, from a different like Jamaica or
Different
Trinidad.
diaspora,
Yeah. So you would still, I mean, is that something that, you know, you think that that's an exotic type of dialect and you're like, oh, I really like the way he sounds. I like the way he talks, because we're going to have to communicate with one another in order to, you know, be in a relationship together. So it's not to put a Black person down because of the fact that they speak a certain way. It's just that I instantly feel like, and I know people are going to say something, but I don't know. I kind of give that person, I kind of put them in a different little bubble. Once they, like, that person could be my friend, but I can't really see maybe it going any further than that. That's just my opinion. I mean, and it's not to say that I'm not instantly going to be like, I'm attracted to this guy.
Yeah, you're being
I'm not
honest.
going to instantly be like, oh yeah, I really like this guy. You know, he's talking like this. And I mean, proper is one thing, but like I said, it's about like how you come across, because a part of me just internally, for whatever reason, I may feel as though he's not really being true to himself. Is this guy really talking like this because this is the way he speaks? Or is he talking like this because he's just been doing this for so long to attract a certain type of woman, and maybe because that type of woman isn't really interested in him, now he's like, okay, well, I am really Black. Let me just kind of go over here. I'm not 100% sure why.
I don't think you can change it though. I don't think, you know.
I don't know. I mean, once you've been doing something for long enough, it probably would be hard to change.
Yeah, you can't just you
can't turn it on and off. Some people can. Think about that movie.
Now, you know, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but that begs a very important question. Why do you think that way? Exactly. Why do you think that because a Black man speaks properly, that he's trying to put on a show or play a game? Why does that thought process immediately come into your head right off the bat, instead of thinking right off the bat that this man is a genuine person, he genuinely speaks this way, he's genuinely intelligent, and you don't associate his speech pattern with his intelligence? Why do you automatically have to question it? Would you question it if his skin color was different? I would assume, and I'm not making this, you know, not being disrespectful, I would assume that you wouldn't, because that speech pattern is not associated with the person that you think is intelligent. And you're associating color with unintelligence. And that's just my assessment.
So I wouldn't necessarily say that I would feel like this. Are you saying that I think that this person is like less educated or ignorant if he speaks properly because of the fact that he's Black?
Yes, ma'am. That's what you just said. I'm just pretty much repeating your talking point. You said that when you meet someone like this, then you would automatically assume that, okay, well, are they trying to run game? Are they really like this? Are they trying to impress me? I'm just repeating your talking point.
Right. So I mean, but I never said anything about unintelligent.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't think that person is unintelligent.
Right.
I would just feel as though, like I said, I just feel like maybe that's just not the way they really
They're
talk.
not. They're
Maybe
being disingenuous.
Disingenuous. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then if that's the case, then why are the game in itself that you're alluding of? The game in itself is I'm trying to show you that I'm smart, and I'm trying to impress you, and I'm trying to pretty much show you that I'm something that I'm not. I mean, am I missing something, or that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can portray yourself to be something that you're not and still be an intelligent person.
Mm.
You can still be an intelligent person and still portray yourself to be, you know what I mean? Because people do that all the time. I mean, job interviews, for example, you may speak a different way when you go to an interview, depending on your line of work, the field that you're trying to be a part of. Maybe there are a lot of people of a different race that work for this company, and you're trying to present yourself in a way that you want to stand out, but not necessarily in a negative way. You're just trying to get that position, and that you have the background, the education, and everything that you need. It's just that because of the fact that your skin is a different color, you're going to, when you go in, you most likely have to kind of like code switch a little bit,
So let me use your example then. So if I'm trying to get a job and I'm trying to impress the people that are trying to hire me,
mm-hmm.
That whole idea is predicated on the fact that they believe me or they don't believe me. I'm going to get the job if they believe the fact that I am intelligent, or I'm this way, the way that I'm speaking to them, I'm going to get the job. If they don't believe it and they think that I'm lying, then I'm not going to get the position. In the same light that if I go out on a date with you and I'm trying to present something that you don't believe, you're not going to give me the time of day. You're pretty much going to dismiss me. You're going to put me in the friend category. Oh, whatever it is, you're not going to take me serious. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let me just say that you speak very proper, but you don't sound like you're trying to be anything else. So it goes back to what my original thoughts, the original thing that I was trying to convey. You speak properly. You don't give off the energy that, oh, I'm, pretending, or I'm trying to portray myself to be something that I'm not. But
right.
If you, as a Black man, that I can see, you spoke like, I don't know.
No, I understand.
I understand what you're saying. I definitely understand what you're saying. And if I can just give you a personal example, I'm born and raised in East Baltimore, from the hood, but I made it out of that situation. But at the same time, I have grown children, and my children grew up in the suburbs. And my son, when he was younger, he had a hard time in middle school and high school, because he would often come home and he would say, "Hey, Dad, a lot of the Black kids are saying that I talk white, right. that I sound white, and I had a difficult time trying to explain that to him. And that's why I made the original point about dialect. And I understand exactly where you're coming from, but I think that with Black people in general, I just think that we disqualify ourselves from having good relationships because we associate certain dialects with the character of a person, and the two are not connected, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. For sure.
That's a very good point. I mean, it really is. And I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, it goes back to what a person feels. I mean, I can't change my thought process. I can say, oh, well, let me try to figure out why I have these thoughts, or why I feel this way, or where did this resonate from? But I mean, it's just the way that I feel. I would not dismiss the person completely. I would still be friendly. I would still, be a nice person towards them. But I don't think that I would necessarily, at first conversation, be interested in them. So it's
Absolutely.
Not now. And I will say this now, if the person is attractive, because if you think about it, I mean, that's the first thing that you have when you see someone. When you first meet a person, that's all you have is what they look like.
Right.
So if you think their looks don't matter, they do. So if I'm looking at a person and I'm attracted to them, instantly that gives them points. and then so on and so forth. So if I'm having a conversation with them and then they're, for our first time speaking to one another, they sound like a person of a different race, I may be taken aback by that because I'm thinking in my head, well, this is different, like, you know, but I'm still interested because I'm still attracted to that person visually. And so that doesn't mean I'm going to dismiss them. I may give them an opportunity just to see where things could potentially go. But if I'm not like attracted to them at first glance and then they're speaking like that, I would still be friendly to them. I would be cordial. I would be nice, but I would probably, you know, not have an interest in them per se. Okay,
that makes sense. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Okay, all right. So, hey, salute to you guys. Hey, JR, man, I'm a veteran too, bro. Retirement, and shout out to you guys. Continue to do your thing.
Hey, say that last part again, bro. I couldn't hear you.
I said, shout out to you, man. I'm a veteran. I'm a retiree. So, hey, shout out to you, man. I support you guys. Keep doing your thing.
I was going to ask you about that gunny part. Where you calling in from?
I'm living in Houston, man.
All right, shout out to H-Town, man. Appreciate you calling in, brother.
All right, y'all be good.
Number 5.
All right.
Yeah. Shout out to Gunny there. You know, definitely excellent conversation. We can talk without, you know, being disrespectful or anything like that, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, I'm glad you're saying this because, and you're standing your ground regardless of what people are saying, because this is how women feel. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This, and men, you guys who are watching this, you know that women feel this way. It's unfortunate that women feel this way, but Tina Summers is just telling you what it is. You can come up and just try to say, well, I can talk like Tiger Woods or whoever, and I should be able to get the digits, but it doesn't work like that way in real life, guys, unfortunately. And a lot of, you know, women are judgmental, you know, men are less judgmental for the most part, but women are judgmental, and it's about, I'm not telling you to change, code switch or anything like that. But what I was saying was, I think that some dudes, as he was saying, if you were raised around a certain people, you can't help. I mean, I'll give you, for example, you can talk. We're in Charleston for you guys who don't know. So Tina Summers, she can talk that North Charleston. For you guys who know from Charleston, she can talk that accent. She can talk like a white woman. She can talk, you know, regular. So she can code switch all over the place. Plus, she used to, you know, work. You know, she used to be in customer service too, working over the phone. So you can do all that shit. But some people just talk like that. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, it does turn some sisters off. And this is a problem that fellas do have, is that they're being judged off their speech pattern. But I get what you're saying. That's almost synonymous with you wanting snow bunnies. Oh, you can't really relate to that person at the end of the day. So, right. You know. Before we bring on the next call, you got anything you want to add before we bring on the next call? I'm gonna read these super chats here. I know I highlighted them. Sean Brown. Oh yeah. So Sean Brown says, black women walking around with hair like Julia Roberts, looking down on a black man that talks like George Clooney. Cold world. Shout out to Sean Brown for the $5 super chat.
Julia Roberts.
So Sigma Tiger 24. So it's okay for the woman to talk properly, but an insecure assumption for a man to do it sounds like hypocrisy and lack of discernment. Hey, shout out to Sigma Tiger for that $5 super chat. And what else we got here? Marriage, politics, and sports. Sister, are you telling me that a man has a better chance with you if he can't conjugate a verb? Damn.
That's absolutely not what I'm saying.
That's not what you're saying?
Not at all.
Yo, hit that like button, guys, real quick. How many? Where are we at right now? 129 likes. We got to run it up to 200. We got 263 people. It was like 300 or something in here earlier. I don't know why y'all dropped off. Hit that like button. Quit playing with me. JR, don't simp to relate to her, man. These guys are comedians.
Don't simp. Please don't.
I don't want to say, we're going to bring on ADOF, J Rocky. I don't want to say Adolf. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to call you ADOF. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, hey, talk to me, sir. How you doing this evening?
Yeah, you had it right, man. Adolf J Rocky, man. The F stands for free. You know, stands for Freeman instead of the the S. You know.
Okay, where you calling from, brother?
I'm calling in from Detroit, man. Calling from Detroit. Yeah.
13. What up, dog?
Yeah, what up, dog? My baby. What up, though, my baby? But anyways, yeah, the topic, when I saw the topic, I was driving, man. I had to pull over, man. I was like, yo, let me jump into this conversation because, you know, I'm from the D, as I already stated. But all growing up, and so here's the thing, like I was predominantly from kindergarten up until like high school. I lived in Detroit proper, went to Detroit public schools or what have you. And, you know, predominantly, you know, this is this is pretty much a really chocolate city. You know what I'm saying? Even today, you know, we like 80% of the city. I grew up in the 80s, 90s. And, but even then, like, you know, I was being told like in elementary school, middle school, I went to a private school as well. Like, hey, you know, you talk proper. I got told that all throughout school because my mother, like, she was really just like, listen, you're not going to say, you know, grammar wrong, right? You're just like, that's just, and so like, I even instill that in my kids today because see, on the opposite end, when I hear people say certain things, it's like, oh, okay, I know that you don't understand the difference. Like, it's almost like a, you know, like what you scratching on a blackboard, right? You know, like for me, it's like I don't take you seriously if you don't understand the difference between they, there, and there, and there, right? You know, and our people got a real bad problem with all that. Instead of using the possessive, they always say they. You know, amongst many other different things, and I've been always called a stickler for like, you know, the different relationships I've been in. You know, you think you know it all, whatever. But the point being. The point being is that I do believe your guess here, as far as saying that there's a difference between like now I always got told I talk proper, but I never got told that I talk white. Right. So that's a distinction. You know what I mean? And then like for high school, I went to a predominantly high school downriver here in Lincoln Park. And I was like one at the time when I graduated in 97, I was one of like 4 black kids that graduated out of a class of 200. So I know what white people talk like, and I've been in the military, ex-army, retired. For me, having that experience, I was so glad I went through that experience in high school because I was able to adapt to white people. I understood them really well, or what have you. But no one ever confused me for being a white person or what have you. Now, I dated white girls because that was what I was around, you know. But that doesn't necessarily mean. And what I find really, what I find is that, you know, I've been told that, hey, look, you look like, or you sound like a person that date white women. I'm like, really? Even though that was true, you know, to a certain extent, it was true. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like a preference over black women. What I found like in my earlier years was that black women didn't like, because, you know, especially in the 90s, everything was about thug, this, blah, 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 gangster, this, blah, 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 you know. And what ends up happening is a lot of black males like myself, right, end up, you know, going, you know, interracially dating, just out dating because they're not being found attractive by black women who they would be their number one choice, right? You know, so it's kind of like a catch-22, you know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Like, you know, you want to date black women, but I talk proper. I'm embraced by these white chicks. Mm-hmm. But if I date the white chicks, then you a sellout.
Yeah.
You know, so
damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah. So you just supposed to have a desert dick? You supposed to not get no buns? Like what the hell? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like these white girls feeling me, these Asian girls may be feeling me. But the sisters say I'm corny because I talk, you know, I have a high pitched voice, maybe because it's automatically assumed I got a high pitched voice because I talk proper. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's. But
I know I don't have. I won't say that I'm talk the same as I talked when I was in high school. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, I was an adolescent, right? But I've never had a high pitched voice. I always had a deep voice for the most part. A lot of times, people think I was older than what I was, right? I've already been always quite mature. Just again, like, you know, I saw the drastic difference when I went to Lincoln Park versus when I was in, you know, middle school or what have you. I literally was like night and day being in a predominantly white setting and black setting all black, peers or what have you, to where I'm like one out of whatever, right? And white girls were just way, they showed the interest in me where I wasn't seeing this with black women, right? At that time in my age or what have you. Different races, women, just it was just all the stereotypes, right? You know what I'm saying? All the stereotypes. And honestly, it was never like I didn't want, like, it became a proximity thing because obviously when I was in high school, I wasn't a lot of black girls that were there. But a lot of the black girls, what I'm saying, the few that were there, they were the ones that were talking white. In my opinion, you couldn't tell the difference, or talking quote unquote proper or what have you. And they were more acclimated with dating with white boys. You know what I mean? So it was just like, it is what it is. You just can't win for losing.
So Adolph, real quick, I don't know if your signal, looking dusty right now, but somebody mentioned, is there a double standard? And while he's waiting to come back on, let me pull him up on there. Okay, let me kick you off this one. You good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. I think I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
I apologize.
So real quick, do you think there's a double standard?
Oh, of course it is.
Women black women talking white and black men talking white, it's acceptable for a black woman to talk that way?
I mean, no offense to your guest that you have on right now, JR, but prototypically she would be considered someone who talks proper at the very least. And you even admitted that that she's able to actually put on a white accent or what have you.
Accent, yeah. Oh no, excuse me, white accent. Yeah, my bad. No.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? But yet and still, she's saying if she met a black man that spoke in the same diction or dialect, that would automatically make him suspicious, right, or suspect. So of course, there's always been a double standard. I mean, we look at again, I interracially dated pretty much in my teens up into my 20s. I've married black women, I have black children, or where I made a conscious choice to be with black women because of my experiences interracially dating. And it's not better on the other side of the fence at the end of the day. That's what I learned in my travels. But we see, like, whenever black women do it, they get celebrated for it. Right. It's looked as a win. There's all these articles talking about, hey, go out there and seek other, men outside of black men, which I'm like, good luck with that. So yeah, yes, it definitely is a double standard. I mean, but that's just part of being a male, man. I was just, there's nothing out there for you when you a male, dude. Like, it is what it is. Ultimate accountability. You know what I mean? You just have to deal with it. No small violins on this side of the house. You have to operate as is.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you calling in, brother, with the input, man. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jay. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, brother. You make sure you call in next time. Have a good night, though, bro.
Yes, you too, bro. Thank you.
No worries.
Bye-bye.
Shout out to that brother there from the 313. Definitely good conversation. I see we had 335 here in the building. How many likes we got? 143. Guys, hit that like button right now. Quit playing with me. We need to have at least 300 likes in this chat right now. This is the Smoke Hour. We're covering nothing but topics. This is experience talking. This isn't that other stuff that you guys are watching or that you see on these quick 1-minute clips. No disrespect, but this is actually experience. This is the truth coming from, experience. This is the truth. So you guys are tuned in. We got 300 something people. It's live right here. So go ahead and hit that like button. There should be no reason why there's not 300 likes right now. We're at 152. Good. That's good. This is nice. Keep going. Keep hitting that like button. Also, for you guys just joining in, comment in the chat where you guys are checking in from: age, sex, or gender, location, all those great things. We want to know where you guys are checking in from. I see we got people usually from H-Town, Texas is always supporting the show. As usual, Baltimore is heavy, as we know, as usual. You know what I'm saying? So definitely I got Enos, one of my moderators in the chat. Moderator, shout out to you. About to bring the next caller in. I'm going to call out some of these super chats here that I missed. I put them up on the screen, but I'm just going to read them off to you guys here. Make sure. I think there was one before that, right? Did we already read this one? So it's okay for one. We read that one properly, but an insecure assumption for a man to do it sounds like hypocrisy and lack of discernment. Okay, we read that one. Shout out to Sigma Tiger. Excuse me. Hit that like button, guys. Don't stop. Keep hitting that like button. Sister, are you telling me that a man has a better chance with you if he can't? Oh, I already said that. Shit, my bad. Damn. I'm sick because I seen some other ones came in. Sorry. Yeah. I'm getting y'all. You guys need to pay me extra. I'm reading y'all shit twice on here. Damn. So Sigma Tiger, you already, no matter how you slice it, she doesn't care and still likes what she likes. LOL. You said this, we talked about this last week, which is another video I need to do. That it doesn't matter how old you get. You said this last week. It doesn't matter how old you get. You like what you like. You know, so many falling by the wayside. Lord. Hey, Sigma Tiger. Hey, women, their likes don't change. And she said it. This is you like what you like. It's a beautiful woman telling you herself. She likes what she likes, you know. She don't care if she's 70, 80, you know, and got a walker and Depends and drinking Ensure. It's still gonna be the same. Don Blackwell says, unfortunately, U.S. black women prefer black men that sound intelligent over black men that are intelligent. I mean, what they say? How does it go? A dumb person can sound smart. How does it go? But a smart person can play dumb, but a dumb person can't. Some shit like that. Yeah. You guys can say it in the chat, man. That's the opposite of what I fucked up with making a point just now. Anyway, I was trying to sound smart myself. Damn, fuck it. Anyway, shout out to Don Blackwell for that, man. What else we got? Marriage, politics, and sports. Great show, JR. Actually, I do understand where the sister's coming from. I hope you get an aesthetically pleasing genius. Ladies, in your dreams. The only aesthetic pleasing genius around is me. So he you know, and it's not too many. I only come around every millennia, so you know, maybe next time. We got anybody else? Okay, Enos. Shout out to Enos. That's my moderator right there. Always supporting. Appreciate you. Damn, we got shit. People showing out tonight. Inye Wakoma. 54 years, male, Seattle, Washington, home of the White Sounding Brothers. Trust me, I know, brother. I lived up there for 2 years. I already know. That's where, if you want to bag a snow bunny, move up to the Pacific Northwest. Sheesh. LOL. Funny thing is, up here, a lot of the proper speaking ones be the most hood. I can dig it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Inye Wakoma. I hope I pronounced your name right. So we're gonna bring in. I think we had this brother on last week, didn't we? Yeah. Watch, talk, and act. Let's go ahead. What you got for us tonight, brother? How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm gonna try to get on every week I can, but
appreciate it.
When you hear somebody talk about men that they're attracted to somebody who they aren't attracted to somebody who is articulate, that speaks to their ignorance. It speaks highly of their ignorance because you gotta understand something. What language are we speaking? We aren't speaking
broken English.
We're speaking exactly.
Not to cut you off. We're speaking as Americans. We speak broken English. But go ahead. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
So that's the whole point. When somebody tells me I talk white, I tell them, what language are you speaking?
Facts.
Because you aren't speaking the language of your people. You're speaking the language of your oppressor. You've been conquered. So don't tell me I'm speaking white. You sound ignorant.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect. Another thing is this is learned behavior. Notice how every time, specifically in the black community, they always want to associate bad things as a good thing.
Right.
You know, the way you dress with the pants hanging off your behind, or talking in slang, or somebody who totes a gun and actually terrorizes the community. These are the things that we should not be attracted to. But yet these women feel that that's a sense of security, and it's not. And those are the very things that destroy the fibers of a so-called community, even though we don't have one to this day. But it's a mindset. Our minds have been turned backwards. And so we need to get out of that and quit letting others write our narrative and rewrite a narrative for ourselves so that we can move forward.
How can we change that?
How can we?
My thing is, as a man, you know, and I'm not saying this about what you're saying because I agree with what you're saying. A man can't tell a woman what to be attracted to, right? A woman
Mhm.
can, because women tend to have a herd mentality, right?
Mhm.
How can we change that in terms of, you know, other than obviously, I mean, procreation is not going to stop. We know whether a woman wears a weave or not, whether a man totes a gun or not, you know, whether a man goes to prison or not, cheeks are still going to get clapped, right?
Mhm.
So, how do we change that?
Those of
What-
us who have universal concepts of consciousness, we have to be able to put our monies together, create programs and establishments such as schools, our own schools, that we can teach our own children a new way of thinking. Because the past consciousness that we learn is very, very detrimental to our communities that we're trying to build up. So we cannot afford to constantly have a system where it's actually against the family structure, the nuclear family in particular, in our communities. So we have to teach the women how to be women, and we have to teach the men how to be men. And we have to also teach ourselves how to be self-autonomous with what we are learning, especially engineering wise, building our own infrastructures and things like that. Whether we have outside entities against us or not, we have to have the ability to try. So we have to put our monies toward that in the future of our children. That is the most important thing, and we have to have people who care, so that we can, put forth other fruits that can really change the community in the right direction.
Mm. Do you think what you said is in a perfect world, or is that feasible?
It's feasible, regardless of what's going on. It's going to take death for that, though. A lot of death, unfortunately.
Somebody finally said it. Somebody finally said it. Exactly. Well said. What else you got, bro?
That's all I got. And another thing, I mean, men do it too. We tend to gawk over the women who dress inappropriately.
Mm.
But guess what? You have to end up defending her honor. So
Mm.
don't be surprised if she's going out and cheating on you, because other men have, made it acceptable. And she, of course, wants the attention. So she's going to go where she wants attention, even though you're telling her, hey, don't do that. It doesn't matter. You can't control her at the end of
Nope.
the day.
Nope. This is a democracy. Not a dictatorship. This is a democracy. I can dig it. If she want to go and do her thing, you gotta let her go. You know what I'm saying? Hey, she chose who? She didn't choose you.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey man, I appreciate you spit some real stuff though, man. Definitely. I definitely understand where you're coming from. You know, it's I'm not saying it definitely is feasible, but I think that's like in a perfect world in terms of that happening or there being an incredible paradigm shift for something like that to come to fruition.
Right.
At the end of the day,
Exactly.
because that's because I think things are still going to like you see that. I think things are like women are just going to get naked more and more naked every year. The new standard is going to be nothing but naked. She's going to be nothing but naked.
But we have ourselves, nobody but ourselves to blame, because it starts in the homes. What are the parents doing? Both parents are working. That's one. So they aren't able to guide the children. They're watching television. They're learning from these programs. The television is raising them, and not the actual parent. So you can only shield them for so much. So they're
You can't
seeking
compete.
certain attention.
You can't compete with the internet. You can't compete with the television. I get
That's
you
right.
can do what you can as a parent, but no buns, no glory.
So when I hear this stuff, I mean, talking black or white, that's just foolishness.
So you
Foolishness.
mentioned articulations when you originally came on, and you said that it was a matter of I think I don't know how much of the show you were listening to, but I wasn't speaking in terms of how a person articulates their words, or like it if they sound proper, they do not sound white. That's the point that I was trying to make. You know, I guess the last caller, I don't know if he originally came on and he was saying that he understood that, but I had to break it down. Speaking proper is not speaking white. You don't sound like a white person. Speaking to you, I know you're not white. So what I was a person who actually speaks, like if you were to call right now and
enunciation,
you're a white person because of the way your voice actually sounds. And I don't know exactly how people do that with their voices, because typically a black man can't really, I mean, you can sit here and talk proper all night. I'll still know that you're black. I'll
you're
still know
talking,
that you're not white.
you're talking about the, what's that?
I said that you can, you know, speak proper all night. I would still know that you're not white.
You're talking about like the dude that goes, "Hey, dude, guess what I did, bro?" That type of talk.
Not so much surfer dude. You know, just more like.
But it's close enough. It's a form of it, you know.
But yes, you get my point. So basically, when you said, "Oh, you know, you're," and I mean, I should have addressed it at that moment, but I didn't want to cut you off, because when you came on, you were like, "Okay, she's speaking in terms of someone articulating their words, and that's just ignorant." So it wasn't necessarily me being ignorant by way of saying that a person speaking a certain way, you know, I'm not attracted to a person because they speak proper. It's just because I'm not 100%.
No, I get the context. You're talking about somebody who you would feel can't identify with our community. Somebody like that.
100%. You hit the nail on the head. Exactly. But what do you feel, you know, you spoke about things that need to change in order for there to be change. Do you feel as though you are doing something in your community or with maybe your children, or, you know, you were like, we need different schools, we need this, we need that. You know, where does that begins with the person who's actually talking about it? Because if you're woke or you're, you know, you understand what needs to happen, what are you applying to make this, you know, make these parts move?
Two things in particular. One is my studying every day, reading books, things like that. And the other is actually forming a podcast and putting out information. Now, once I do that, get money, things like that, then the ball will start getting rolling, because that's where I really want to do things. But it does take money. You know, these things aren't free.
Right.
So, you know.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Well, hey, I appreciate you calling in. Watch, talk, and act. You know what I'm saying? As usual, you're always welcome here on the Smoke Hour with Tina Summers here. You know what I'm saying? Always great, good conversation, bro.
It's wonderful talking to y'all. Thank you.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
man. You have a good night.
You too.
All right, later.
Peace.
Shout out to that brother there. Always a good conversation. You know, Project Game Plan. I appreciate the $2 super chat, man. This thing is dropped by like almost 100 people. What the hell happened? Did we get boring all of a sudden? Because we was at like 335 for a minute. Like this thing dropped by like 50 people already. Like, what is? Hit that like button, man. This is the best podcast on YouTube right now. We got 213 likes. We need to have 300 likes. Hit that like button if you're in the chat right now. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing, guys. Shout out to Sigma Tiger once again. You got your man. What are you at? You gambling tonight? What's happening? You keep throwing these $5 bills. Women will deal with a man that's convert. Let me say it in my Jamaican accent, because Jamaicans, what they say, Jamaicans be speaking the hell out of company. They be saying every single syllable. Comfortable. Comfortable with himself, no matter what she says she doesn't like. Let her win. Ignore her BS. Set your boundaries. Women will deal with the man that's comfortable. Exactly. Women like confidence. You know. What do you think about? What do you think about what Sigma Tiger said?
I love a confident man. Absolutely. Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm all for it. I love a confident. I mean, I believe that I agree. I think all women love confident men.
Is somebody stealing like the view? Like this shit, like this thing really dropped. It was at 250, now it dropped by like 60 people. Somebody's playing around here tonight. Anyway, so I want you to give that example that you were telling me. You're telling me about when you going on Just Pearly. I don't know when Just Pearly invites me over to the UK. You know, tell Just Pearly if you watching Just Pearly. You know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? I did the video about you. You know, no hard feelings. I was just giving you my opinion. But baby, if you want me to come on, you know, just let me know. You know, damn, this shit dropping low. Did we get corny that fast, or is it like what happened? I thought this was good. Yeah. Anyway, so this you mentioned something about there was a guy. Mm-hmm. For those who are listening, there was a guy who went to shoot a shot at you in Starbucks. Mm-hmm. Can you explain to everyone that encounter so that they can get kind of a context of that situation in particular?
Okay, so there was a guy. I went to Starbucks really quick on a break, and I walked in, and he was with some of his white counterparts, and they were exiting while I was entering, and he kind of did a double take. And I mean, women, we may pretend like we don't see the double take. We always see the double take, and well, typically we see the double take. And he was walking out, and he was like, "Oh, you know, I'll be out there, or whatever." Let his guys walk out, and he came over and he said, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" And I was like, "No, I don't think you know me. I've never met you before." He told me his name, and I told him my name, and you know, he went on to, you know, he just did his little flirt thing, like, "Are you famous? Like, maybe I know you. Maybe I'm sure I've seen you somewhere before," that sort of thing. But what was it? He had the voice of a white man. He wasn't an unattractive guy or anything like that. He was super nice. He had a great personality though. Like he had a person, like I could tell that even though he spoke like that, I just felt like maybe one, you know, he's with these people. Maybe this is just something that, I don't know who was mentioning earlier. Sometimes when you just are around certain people so much, you know, you get into that zone or that mode and you just kind of stay there, mm-hmm. you know, which is very possible. Or maybe, you know, he, you know, came from a school that, you know, just, it could be anything, but that was how he was speaking. I wasn't interested in him by way of like, oh, you know, I would like to have a relationship with this man. I just knew based off of his conversation with me, even though it was a small window of time that we spoke, that he had a good personality and, you know, he was funny. He just, you know, regardless of the fact that he sounded the way he sounded, it goes back to what they, you know, the person said just now, you know, a woman likes a man who's comfortable with himself. So he wasn't like, I could tell that he liked Black women. Let me put it like that. He wasn't like, oh, I'm, you know, they've dismissed me from the other side and now I have to go over here and see what, you know, if the Blacks will take me. You know, it wasn't like that. It was just him being himself. He just happened to have that voice.
Yeah. So that's an exception is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and that's what we were speaking about earlier. Like, you know, there is an exception to the rule when it comes to, you know, who's being disingenuous, you know, you can kind of tell.
I understand. I was just reading the private chat here. I'm about to bring on the brother here shortly. I see you there. So for you guys listening, she's saying that is an exception, that he wasn't, even though he had a high pitched voice, his
wasn't so high pitched, but you could just tell that, you know what I'm saying? He was
business ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was business ready.
Yeah.
You know,
that was just the way he spoke, you know. And once again, you know, it wasn't just because he was proper. He actually had the voice.
Yeah, the
voice.
I got you. Yeah. So let's bring on the next caller here. Well, here, before we bring on the next caller, shout out to son Moses for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate your work, Aki. Keep it going. Watch, listen every day on the job. Yeah, I appreciate, man. Appreciate the $9.99 super chat. Hey, shout out to you. I appreciate you, brother. Peace be upon you. Peace and blessings and the mercy of our mind. You know, talk to me, millionaire trader Alex. What's happening with you, brother?
Ain't nothing too much going on, man. Just cooling, man. Doing what you do, you know, man. Trying to get out here and make it happen, you know.
Where you calling in from?
Florida, dog. Down here in Jacksonville, Florida, bro.
Jacksonville. Okay, you're not far from me. Got you. Say less.
You know, we're down in Duval County. You know how we roll down this way.
Shout out to Duval County, man. What's on your mind this evening, Alex?
Most intellectual brothers, you know, those, you know, what they say, white talking and white sounding brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes they come off as they trying to be like they're better than other people that sound more rap culture, you know, talking like situations.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time those guys try to put on like they're smarter, they're better, you know, in some instances. In some instances, that's just the way they are. That's just the way they've been brought up. That's the way they've been since they was a kid. So sometimes those people really just depend on the person basis as far as who you're dealing with. But there's people that sound like that because they hang out with white folk, and there's people that sound like that because they're educated. There's a wide variety of those bourgeois brothers. You know, that's what they was called back in the day. If y'all remember,
right.
It was the
bourgeoisie.
So yes, sir. So dealing with that, so that stigma is still on those brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? The old bourgeois, I can't get the word out, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that stigma is still on them. And black people still carry that with them, you know. Then, you know, people that from the hood, they'll say, oh, green ass motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, green people, you know, just like, you know, really try to mess with them folks and everything. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What just happened
I can hear you. Keep going. I don't know what the hell happened, but yeah, keep going though.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, you have that interracial warfare going on between smart and intellectuals, or you know, proper speaking people, and then you know the hip hop culture talking people. So you're gonna have that little warfare that happens. That always happened though for like years. This ain't nothing new. It's just people just really trying to fight for it to be normal. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
Right. No, I understand. What you got to say about that?
I was listening to you, but I was trying to see what this
I get it.
that electronic issue that.
Yes, sir. Hey, JR Wisdom, I'm taking over your show now. I'm gonna go ahead and run the show while you still running, brother. JR Wisdom is having technical difficulties, so y'all bear with him for just a moment. I think him and Miss Tina will be back online. I am Millionaire Trader Alex, guys over at Spotlight Entertainment Network. So make sure you guys come by my page and give me a shout out and check me out as well. We're waiting on JR Wisdom to really get back and have this conversation with us about the proper speaking brothers and sisters, and is it normal or should it be normal type situation. I'm working with you, brother.
I don't know what the hell happened. Like my battery, like the camera was plugged in, but yeah, we on here now, man, for the time being.
All right. I'm back on deck.
Okay. What else you got tonight, brother? I'm sorry, I got the mic all up in the damn thing. What? Oh shit, this the wrong damn camera. Yo, we have you right, man. We don't have the technical difficulties here tonight, man. Yeah. So
hey, it's all good. We got some for that too.
The camera. Yeah, what's happening? Yeah, what else you got, man? You can still see us. Y'all can still see us. What's up? Yeah.
Yeah, so for the proper speaking brothers, I'm with you. You know, I'm with you. Some of them really cool. Some are really cool, down to earth people, and really do the same things that we do. You know, as far as like, you know, hanging out and, you know, intermingling with each other. You know, like have similar interests as each other. It just we don't really connect like that, you know, when it comes, you know, the issues, whether it's political or black culture. So some of them aren't cultured like that. You know, they choose not to be, and that's when you have to separate that. That's what that boundary is when we talk about bourgeois and the intellectual. You know what I'm saying? There's a boundary between them. It's more a class thing too. When you talk about proper speaking, it's a class thing too. So people like to keep that little buffer zone between them and you know, hip hop culture speaking people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So do you feel like men are more open to maybe befriending a person that, you know, speaks in that way, not proper, but like sounds exactly like someone of a different race, i.e. a white person? I guess you can only really speak for yourself, but are you that type of person that's like, you know, I have no issues with a person like this, I'm comfortable with this type of person? Or do you kind of like have a network of friends that are, you know, more so along the lines of like where, you know, have the same background as you can relate better to them? And I know that you're saying that some people that speak that way do have like similar backgrounds, and they're relatable and they can, you know, hold a conversation. You guys have the same types of interests and things like that. But do you find in your day-to-day that you are, you know, you encounter these types of people and you still kind of like embrace them? Or do you feel like there's not necessarily a prejudice towards them, but you're not as connected to them as someone that would, you know, that maybe not necessarily that you've known for a while, but somebody that you just instantly connect with by way of you guys shoot pool together, or you guys have a similar hobby or something like that? Does that make sense?
Most of the time, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. For the most part, I'm a social person, so I'm able to connect with many different types of people. It's just a matter of whether they can connect with me in the same instance. Like most of the time, we have a connection within, you know, most guys is with sports. If they follow sports, then we have a connect that will get us together, and now we can connect. We can talk sports, and then we can move out. Or if it's going to be a friendship there, then we can move that along and like set up another meeting for pool or out to drinks, something of that nature, you know. Or, you know, if it's more intellectual, you know, talk politics, or, you know, get in other little social discourse and really just kind of like, you know, connect with each other. But I don't typically have a problem with them, or you know, problem with them like in that manner. But I see other people from poverty situations, they generally have problems with them because they have some type of inferior complex when interacting with those folks.
Right.
But most of us have somebody that's in our family like that. Like if you think about your family, that, you know, as a big group, like maybe the cousin or auntie or somewhere down that family tree down the line, there's multiple family members that are like this. And how do you connect with that family member? Now, back in the day, most of those family members, those are families that kind of went off in the world and just did their own thing, started their own family, they started their own life. And they really don't connect with the family. We talk older members of the family that kind of is in that direction. But currently, I think we're coming together a little bit better, but you know, just due to social issues and the way the modern time has been rolling, as far as how people been connecting with each other, being more entwined with different social media channels and things of that nature. We're just kind of connecting with each other and starting to see each other at events, and now we're starting to get to know each other and things of that nature.
Right. I 100% agree with that, especially the part about, you know, family, you having family members that are, you know, that you can think of right off the top of your head that are people that kind of like have that difference, you know. And once again, like you said, they go off into the world, or they go off and they have their own, it's almost like they're in their own world. And that could be because they feel as though they don't have the ability to necessarily relate to their immediate family because they don't speak like them, or because they feel kind of like an outcast, I guess you could say. And then they kind of gravitate more towards people who embrace them, or they kind of have the same speech pattern, or whatever you want to call it, and they connect better that way. And just with that being the case, it goes back to our original, women being attracted to certain types of people. So it's not like an embarrassing thing. Like if this guy spoke like a white person and I was interested, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I want to bring you to meet my family. He may feel out of place, if I brought him around people who spoke more like me, or people who just weren't accustomed to hearing his, the way he talks. They're instantly going to probably be like, oh, well, this guy, sounds like a white man, or whatever the case may be. So, I just feel like.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're fine.
Well, I think people, like, when you're dealing with relationship situations, I think if you got a different man and you finna introduce them to your family, I think you should at least warm your family up to what kind of person he is, so it won't be just some shock event when he walk through the door and everybody's like, I think a woman should help make that situation a little easier for him, so he can feel comfortable when he do meet your family in that situation.
Right. Absolutely. I 100% agree. 100%.
All right, Alex, man, I appreciate you calling in, brother. What else you got?
That was pretty much it, man. Just more of a but is women attracted to that? I don't think so, unless he got the unless his button-up game strong and he smells good. That's my last word on that.
There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate you, JR Wisdom, man. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. Appreciate you calling in tonight, man. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right,
you do the same, Miss Man. Yes, sir.
Shout out to that brother right there. Sorry about the technical difficulties, folks. I don't know what happened. I had my camera plugged into the battery here, but for some reason it's like it's on right here. We got the camera on, but it's not showing up on my thing. But we're here on the on the Mac camera, which sucks, but you guys can hear us. The mic is still good. So but we're coming to an end to tonight's podcast. You guys got the best quality. I don't know what's going on, man. It got me wanting to unplug it and plug it back in and see what, for a few seconds, because I know it's on if they can hear me, it's on the regular audio, but it's always some weird shit going on. All right, so I plugged that one back in, and we're gonna see. Can you guys hear me? Okay, there we go. That's all I had to do. I think.
You're right.
HD. Okay, sorry. Yo, it's some shit going on tonight, man. It's right here. Wait up. Okay.
There you go.
Sheesh. We're frozen in time here. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Anyway. Okay, there we go. Let's check the audio. See where we're at with the audio, because I want to give you guys a good experience here. So we're still on the MacBook. Okay, let's get back on the Yeti. Okay, so audio should be good. We should be looking good on you guys' screen. You should be sounding good. Awesome. I know we were on the thing earlier. So we're looking good. We're sounding good. Shout out to him. This is a real thing. I appreciate you, Tina Summers, for bringing this to people's attention, regardless of how much they hate to hear this. But this is a reality. This is a reality of what is going on, and brothers are dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wholesaling Tony trying to see what's happening. I know that's right. You can super chat that wholesaling Tony. We'll get you the answer. But or you can hit her up on you can hit her up on her TikTok and all that good stuff. But this is unfortunately this is a reality. She's only telling you what women, and a lot of you guys may have experience who are talking with a slightly high-pitched voice or a different tone or dialect or whatever have you. You guys are dealing with this, and you guys may be getting rejected, and you feeling some type of way about it. But she's just telling you it doesn't. How you say it doesn't give the box a heartbeat. And if it doesn't give the box a heartbeat, then you don't stand a chance. So,
I mean, you don't want to be in a position where you're like pushing and you're in the friend zone and you don't, you're just sitting in the friend zone. Like, I mean, obviously you want to be in a relationship with somebody, but sometimes it's not necessarily what that person wants. And, it's the best thing to either accept the fact that you're friend zone. From my understanding, men can't be friends with women. We can't have a platonic relationship.
I need the buns. I need the buns, baby. We're not about to, even if you are doing something for me, even if you are, taking care of everything, I need the buns, because I think women who are experienced, they know this. You have some women that will argue you down, which I know this is a completely different topic. Mm-hmm. Some women will argue you down. Well, I'm friends with my husband's best friend. Yeah, he'll clap those cheeks immediately. Trust me. Well, I'm friends with my boyfriends. We're the best of friends. You're like, I know. So women I've even had women say that I know what he's thinking. How the hell do you know what another man is thinking? How the hell do you know how another man feels about you? Right. I'm friends with my boyfriend's best friend. We're the best of friends, and he's never. Anyway. We're not going to talk about. That's not what this is about. We're talking about speech patterns and dialects and things like that, and how women get turned off based off of those things. Right. Which turns to you guys going to bunnies or other women, and black women in turn getting mad because you're doing that, even though they don't want you in the first place.
Yeah.
Why does everything have to be so? Why does everything have to be so difficult?
I don't know. Because, I mean, from my understanding, men are simple. And women are complicated.
Very.
I mean, that's what I've been told.
So do you think a black man should just keep trying?
I believe that there are going to be black women that don't have an issue with that. I mean, it does stem from like what you're accustomed to, what you like, what your preference is. I'm pretty sure if there's so many people in this world, you're not going to tell me that there's not one black woman or tons of black women who aren't like interested in a man who speaks that way.
But what if I got all these bunnies over here showing me love? I got all these bunnies over here.
If you have all those bunnies showing you love, right?
Right.
Is that what you want?
It's not what I want, but I'm getting my pole licked. I'm getting cheeks on the regular. Mm-hmm. Some of these bunnies are taking care of me. I want to be with a black woman, but every time I approach her, she gives me a cold shoulder. She brushes me off, or she doesn't respond. But these bunnies are showing me love. I'm having the exact same approach, but I'm getting nothing but success with the bunnies.
So you as a man, and I'm just assuming that this is what men do, you would just be with a person that you aren't really attracted to in order to engage in a sexual
I would
situation?
Say attraction as opposed to preference.
Okay.
Me personally, and this, I'm not attracted to white women. Mm-hmm. You have to be an exclusive, bunny to basically say that I would, and there's no offense to black, everybody has their preference. No offense to white women. Mm-hmm. It's just not I'm not attracted to them. There are a few that are attractive, but I think it's the same thing. I will deal with you. Go where you're appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if these bunnies are appreciating me, they're showing me love.
Right.
They are making me feel like a man. But if I go to my people and I just keep trying, I keep going to my women, I keep trying, I keep getting rejected. You're corny. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And I'm just getting buns on this end. Like I'm running through these bunnies. I'm living the time of my life. It's not my preference, but
Right.
I'm, you know, it's not saying that I'm not attracted to them, but they're still showing me love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're just going in the wrong spaces. You're going after the black women in the wrong spaces, because I mean, you can't tell me that there would not be a woman of, you know, there would not be a black woman that would be in that just all black women are not interested in men that speak a certain way, period. No, I would never say that. I'm just saying, and generally speaking, if a person had the same mindset, and this goes back so far back to like when the first caller came, you know, when he called in and he was basically saying that, you know, where does this stem from? This stems from a place that, I mean, you know, maybe I'm not able to pinpoint specifically, or maybe it's just that I'm used to a certain type of man, and that's just the type of man that I prefer. Right. Because that's just what I prefer. You know what I mean? So if I prefer a man who speaks, you know, baritone, deep voice, whatever, I mean, that's what I prefer.
I don't think a woman should be knocked for a purpose, though. I definitely, and I say that all the time.
Yeah.
A woman and that's what I want men who watch this channel to know. A woman is entitled to her preference, even if her preference is a dude that ain't shit.
Right.
Even if her preference is a man who's good with the beaters, you know, putting hands on her. And even if her preference is a man who doesn't have a job and has 6 or 7 baby mamas. That's her preference. You can't get mad at her because she wants a certain type of dude. Right. So that goes back to what I was saying earlier, is to that, I think it wasn't the last caller, it was a caller before the last, where we were talking about, you can't, I wouldn't be comfortable with trying to tell a woman what she would like or what she should like.
Right.
Even though let's just say I am a good guy. I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. Tina, I'm a good guy. I mean, why won't you date me? Why won't you date me? Why are all these women not dating me? And I'm going to post a video tomorrow on this about a guy, because guys comment, which this is something very important, that there are guys who are engineers, very well to do. They don't drive fancy cars. They are 6-figure earners. They are Henrys, high earning, not rich yet. You know, they're driving Honda Accords and Toyotas.
Right.
But because they don't have a flashy car or they speak properly, that they feel like he's inferior or he's not as tough as these other guys. Another example, the money. Because, you know, and you know I'm in the credit, you know, or was in the credit industry. Money in the black community, a sign of wealth is fast money. It's not old money, long money. What wealth is if you dress well, you're considered wealthy. Obviously, your appearances. I know I'm far away from the mic. Sorry, guys. Appearances, as we know, dictates wealth.
Yeah.
You could be broke as fuck, not have $500 in your account, but if you dress well, you will have a better chance than a man who has a extensive stock portfolio on several homes and or real estate, you know, on several properties, things like that. But because he may be wearing some slacks with which a lot of women, fellas, just so you know, a lot of women like you with slacks and a button down tucked in. It doesn't matter if she's a hood chick or not. She likes you in your slacks and button down. Anyway, I just think that this type of guy would be looked at as, even though he may have money, he may be able to provide the type of life that she may want. She'll just look at the guy who has the fast money, the dope boy, the guy who may be able to get it quick, as more sexy, more edgy. This is more attractive, as opposed to this guy who may earn his money the boring way.
Okay, so 2 things. You know, some women are just attracted to that in general. That's just their attraction, period. I don't know if that changes in time as far as age goes, because I would hope that a woman, you know, a more mature, more experienced woman would not be interested in a person that may be making fast money if he's not making it the right way. I mean, because you can make fast money and you could just be, I don't know, selling stuff on, you can be selling things, but not illegal things. And, you know, unless of course you're like, what's the guy? The guys who like,
scammers?
No, not those guys. Like the guy that's Tony guy with the drugs and stuff. Now
with the drugs. I just feel like,
I mean, if he's making that kind of money, like that's different. You know, if she's attracted to a guy who makes fast money and he's like making like buku's amount of money, that, I mean, you know, if she's attracted to that type of person and she, you know, ends up with a guy like that, then that's a little bit different. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, you're still attracted to who you're attracted to. You know, women do love men with button downs and slacks. I mean, I personally do. I wouldn't look at a person and say, I mean, even if a guy is dressed nice, I'm not going to, me personally, I'm not just going to be like, oh, he's dressed nice. And that's all I need. Oh, he's dressed nice. Let me take my panties off. Like, no, yeah, you're dressed nice. Okay. And what else? And what else? And what else? Because men like to say, oh, well, hold the woman accountable, or what does the woman have to offer? Or what does the woman bring to the table? Yes, we want to know the same things. I mean, it's not just about putting on some nice slacks and a button down. Like that doesn't, where's that? I mean, yeah, that's a start. That's nice. Like, if, you know, and if I see you on multiple occasions and that's how you dress, and I know that's the way that you dress and you carry yourself well and you always smell good, then yeah, those are all pluses, because that makes me feel like, okay, well, he has good hygiene. He knows how to, you know, keep himself looking presentable. You know, what do you do for a living? You know, obviously there's different strokes for different folks, is different things that different people are attracted to.
I can dig it. Damn, we ain't hit 300 likes yet. You guys are playing around tonight, man. Anyway, so somebody asked me, what kind of woman are you attracted to? Man, this is paid content. I don't even know if I should have, if you should answer that, because
what are they saying?
They're saying, what kind of man does Tina Summers? What is Tina Summers type of man? You know, let's hear those standards from an intelligent, beautiful woman that knows what she wants. Even though he didn't super chat, but yeah, I should do that if you go and ask some damn questions. Shit, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I just ran down some things.
You did run down some things. Yeah,
like I love a man that dresses nice and smells good, and you know, and makes a good living, a decent living, who is mature, who can, you know, provide, who has you know, who's confident, who doesn't have commitment issues. You know, a man who,
that's enough, right?
I mean, you know, that's a start. You know what I mean? That's a start, because I mean, it's not like, I mean, you don't just give the whole like, let me write down all these things, so whenever this guy presents himself to me, then he'll already know, he'll have the cheat code sheet, and then he can be like, oh yeah, what else was it that she liked? Oh yeah, let me do that too. Oh, she likes flowers. Okay, let me send her those. Oh, she likes it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and you gotta realize that in different moments in your life or in your relationship with a person, you know, there's certain, obviously you're going to go over expectations in the beginning, right? But you're not going to give a person everything. I'm not going to come to you and say, hey, I want you to do this, this, and this, and this, or this is what my ex did, and these are the things that I didn't like, or these are the things that I do like. Obviously, I want to see what it is that, how well do you perform? What are you, you know, not in the bed. I'm just saying, like, how well do you perform, like, as a person? Like, what's your personality like? How do you treat me? How do you treat, you know, people around you? Like, if you have a sister, how do you treat her? Your mom, how do you know what I'm saying? How do you treat other women around you? You know, and what is it that you can do that I don't have to tell you to do, that I don't have to ask you to do?
Well, there's your answer, guys. You know, damn, look, we dropped. You see, we had 116. We dropped by 200 people up in here, man. What the hell? I mean, I wonder what had happened. So she gave you what it is that she's looking for in a man. So there you have it. Somebody asked me as far as a woman, but we'll leave that for another time. We're talking long enough tonight, so you know. Listen, guys. Hey, this has been an awesome. We beat this topic to death. You guys have been awesome. You know, I appreciate you guys showing up. This is only episode 2. We had 300 and something people, 335 people tops in here tonight. I appreciate all the super chats. You guys have shown love tonight. You know, appreciate you guys being respectful with the co-host, Miss Tina Summers, here tonight.
Thank you, guys.
You know, we keeping it funky, but this is
Keller.
These are real conversations that you guys hopefully. Oh, we're all about solutions, and I mean, I don't even know if we gave solutions tonight, but all about learning. Somebody said get your passports. It's all about learning and what you guys need to expect when you navigating these streets. When you navigating these streets and things like that, man. It's just being honest with you. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna be coming with good you know, I got a ton of topics written down that we're gonna cover in reference to this. Real life conversations, not the I'm gonna stop saying that because it sounds like I'm hating by saying that.
You sound like haterish.
I read in a textbook that per these studies show that hoes only excuse me, I didn't mean to say hoes, but per these textbook, the studies show that if a woman's been with more than 3 guys per YouTube guidelines, it shows that she's unable to pair bond, and she should be okay with however you look, whatever you make, and if you have a 2-inch penis, you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
It's this is stuff that we have to stop. Women as well, we have to stop saying these things and be bone cold honest with people and say, bro, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. This is why you're not getting buns. This is why you're not getting any dudes in your DMs, things like that. So that's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I had a long run with them buns. This is horrible, fellas. Hey, damn, we can jump back up to 148. What happened all of a sudden, man? Goodness, y'all make me want to stay on, man, but I don't want to, you know, I'm surprised. I thought we were on here like 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not on that liquor, man. I'm just this is how I normally am on my live streams, man. You know what I'm saying? We're just having a good time tonight, man. Yeah. But if we don't have any other callers, why is YouTube like switching it up on us tonight? You see, does this look right?
Yeah.
Does this make sense? It went from 115 to 178. What's going on, man? YouTube, I love YouTube. Just so you know, just so you guys know, I love YouTube. Shout out to YouTube, the greatest partners ever. The greatest partners ever. YouTube, you know. Interesting. 177. We just went from 115 to 177. Mm-hmm. Just that fast. 202. Like, does this make sense?
No. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
Anyway, guys, I don't want to. I'm gonna leave on this note because we don't have any other callers. We're gonna come at you with another episode next week. You know, as usual. I hope to see you guys there. You know, so we can chop it up as well. As usual, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on Linktree. Book a one-on-one with yours truly. Purchase all the books, merch, t-shirts. Make sure you guys see it sliding across the bottom. If you want to support the channel, if you feel like this information has been a benefit, hey, share this video with someone. Also, feel free to send a Cash App to the lovely Tina Summers here. Her information is sliding across below. It's easy, even if it's $2. Like, this thing's about to cut out, man. I don't know what's going on tonight, man. My camera looks like it's about to cut out. I'm sorry. I could have swore the battery's on. Like, why is this thing? Something's going on tonight. Anyway, that's none of y'all fault. 2-4. Look at this. Look at this. I'll talk about this offline. Mm-hmm. I'll talk about this offline, guys, because this is strange, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's getting a little blurry too. Right there. Big camera.
Anyway, guys, before my camera cuts off, I don't know what's going on. You know, hit follow Miss Tina Summers on TikTok. She has her TikTok up. She'll be putting out content as well. Check her out on there. You know, quit playing around. Either you got a ghost. I know, right? What the hell is going on? Like, my camera is literally Like it looks like it's dead right now, and it's plugged into the charger, but it's still going.
Yeah.
There's no battery, so something is afoot. We're almost at 300, and we're at 300 now. It just jumped 20.
That's so strange. So strange.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Anyway, I hate to leave y'all, but it's been a good night. I'm gonna leave while we're up and damn 308.
Yeah.
Let's go to 4. Let's go to 400. We got 300 likes. 264. We need like 40. We need like 36 likes. Come on. Quit playing. Anyway, 308, 319.
So crazy.
This thing in less than like 2 minutes, this thing literally went from 115 to 320.
Right.
In less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
331. Do a dance or something. Yeah. Keep putting on. This is crazy. Can we get over? That's over the original 341. Let's go up to 400 while we're at it. What else you guys want to hear? You'll have 1,000 in 2 minutes. Facts. It must be somebody in the chat. I feel like I had deja vu all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We're at 350.
Yeah.
I really feel like I have deja vu. It said somebody must be in the chat. Anyway, you said that was a crunch. This wasn't a crunch, man. It's that last 3 strokes. You know what I'm saying? Hey. Anyway, yeah. But fellas, man, I'm gonna end with this. Don't get too overwhelmed with how a woman is going to perceive you. Just be yourself.
Right.
There's nothing better than being yourself.
Nothing better.
And you should never change to try and get with a woman. If you talk and you may not even know that you talk that way. Right. If you talk a certain way, so be it. Yeah. Either she likes you or she doesn't like you at the end of the day.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to shoot your shot. Even women, don't be afraid to shoot your shot. Because it's just, there's a yes out there for everyone.
Eventually.
And there's eventually, but you don't want to get with the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? Shoot your shot and get it over with. You don't want to be out here dang, coulda, shoulda, woulda, or had I just said something, and then you have that on your mind forever. Like you said, don't be afraid of how you speak. Women love a proper man. I know I do, but there's just certain things that tick, certain things that make a person more attractive to you. They just that's just what it is. We all have something different that we like from a person, and I think that we all deserve to be with somebody that we like, somebody that we're attracted to. Nobody has everything. That's what I hate when people are like, oh yeah, women have this whole laundry list of I gotta have this, he's gotta be this, he's gotta have that, he's gotta dang, come on, the man he can only do so much. He's just a human. He's just a person,
Fellas, all you need is a heartbeat, fellas.
Heartbeat.
That's all you need is a heartbeat, fellas. You don't need to be attractive. It's some of the ugliest mofos in this world got some of the baddies, and all they got is a heartbeat.
Yeah. Somebody said tolerate yourself first. That is so true. You have to know you in order to be able to get to know someone else. And good communication skills, practice.
Somebody said something earlier, you still have to, and I get it, you still have to have some game. Can't be.
That makes a woman feel desired.
What?
I personally feel like, having some game, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're putting some effort forth to get with that person. But I think possibly every man is gonna, he's gonna spit some game. He has some kind of something in that arsenal. He has something there that he's gonna use, whether he uses it every time or, he pulls out that special something for that special someone that he's really attracted to.
I'm like Nas. I don't got no game. Women just understand my story. So you
tell the story?
I just talk to them like human beings. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me nice. You guys just you guys start getting and trying to say lines and shit. Just talk to her like she ain't shit. No, just talk. Just don't talk to her like a homeboy. Just talk to her like. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry, rest in peace, Alan Roger Curry. Which I guess the book sales go to his widow. It's a book called Mode 1. Go purchase it right now. Alan Roger Curry, in that book Mode 1, he tells you to basically you talk to a woman like you would talk to a waitress or something like that. You talk to them like you would talk to you would talk to somebody at customer support or customer service or something like that. And that's how you guys need to treat it. How you would talk to your waitress, unless you guys get butterflies and all this stuff when you're talking to your waitress. You talk to them how you would talk to an auntie or an old lady in the store. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. You treat women are just regular people. She farts and takes a dump just like everyone else. You know. She stinks just like you stink. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry. Rest in peace. But in this book, this is what Alan Roger Curry teaches. He says you talk to women the same way, and I think women prefer for you to talk to them that way, like they're just regular people instead of all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Don't talk to them like they're, because it gives off creep vibes and weird vibes. I know I said talk to them like they ain't shit. So I'm not saying being disrespectful, but hey, talk to them like how you talk to the cashier. Stuff like that, man. She's just normal, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It says at game 101.
We're all human.
We're all human. Like I said, women stink too, Women stink, women burp, women fart, We
do not.
Women are musty and dusty. Women have some dirty panty days, and shit like that. And it's under titties is, sweaty and, stuff build up, So, it's you guys just take the shit too seriously, man. At the end of the day, it's a moment in time, and that's all. How did we get off when they're talking all this shit about,
I don't know,
about titties?
I think you were
women.
Actually, you were trying to end, and then you just went back in.
Yeah, somebody said the algorithm was like, you about to get off, so let's go ahead and bring everybody in now that you about to get off and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. No, for sure, guys. Alan Roger Curry, purchase the book. If you got Audible, I highly encourage you guys, you gentlemen, you ladies as well. That's the book. That's what I should do. I should start doing that. And maybe you should give a book to the fellas and the ladies as well. Okay. At the end of these live streams, we talk about, offer a book for people to check out. Yeah. So Alan Roger Curry, you guys can go on Audible right now. If you don't have a membership, they have different little membership levels for you guys. I think I got the $14 level. I think I get 1 credit a month or something like that. Mm-hmm. Go and get it right now. They probably give you the book for free, And he has it on Audible. You can listen to the homie's voice, rest in peace, and he'll school you to the game and things like that. What do you think? The bros and the ladies should check out.
I haven't read very many relationship.
I know I put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I haven't read very many relationship books lately.
Or just about being a better person, maybe.
Just about being a better person. The Mountain Is You, but I haven't really finished that book yet. But it's pretty good. For starters, it's kind of like a self-help book, so I have that one on Audible. So yeah, that's a good one. I can't remember the author, but The Mountain Is You.
Mountain Is You. You guys check that out. I'm pretty sure you said it is on Audible, right?
It is, yeah.
Yep. So you guys can check that out as well. I got like 4 credits, you know what I'm saying? So I need to stock up on some stuff.
I literally have, a lot more than 4
you need
credits.
To donate some to me. Bobby's channel said, I don't get it. I'm having a hard time. Matt, I should make you pay for this. No, I'm just joking. I'm having a hard time. I don't get it. I'm having a hard time understanding men. Men are really having a hard time getting women. I'm older now. I'm middle age. I know how to talk to a woman, but the kind of women I want, though, man, keep talking to women. You know what I'm saying? And women desire a man that has a cold mouthpiece. The more you talk to women, the better you get at it. It's just like anything with experience. There's a book by what's his name? Clary. Y'all, somebody say his name. White guy. Aaron, is it Aaron Clary?
Investment books.
I don't know if it's Aaron. Anyway, Clary, I think it's Aaron Clary. You guys can correct me. He has a book called By the Numbers. Right? He has a book called By the Numbers. I think it's on Audible as well. If it's not on Audible, it's on what's the thing that you get on Amazon?
Sean Manson? By the Numbers?
No.
Oh.
Aaron, I think look up Aaron Clary. I think it's Aaron Clary. You guys know Aaron Clary, man. Come on. He's in this space. Is it Aaron Clary? CLAREY. By the Numbers.
Book of Numbers.
Mm-hmm. Aaron Clary, Book of Numbers. Sorry, guys. Y'all pick that up, Book of Numbers. By Aaron Clary on Kindle. So he has it on Kindle. I don't know if it's on Audible. But you guys can pick that up. Talking to women is a numbers game. Anything with success, sales, women, dating is sales, guys. You know, and this is a master salesman right here next to me. Dating is sales, guys. So you have to get through the no's to get to the yeses. So you talk to enough women, you know, eventually somebody's gonna say yes. There's a song by Lil Wayne featuring Drake called "She Will." I encourage you guys to go to sleep listening to that. You need to work out to that song, "She Will," and you know, basically get on that bench, do your bench press to that, do your squats, do your deadlifts to "She Will," do your pull-ups to "She Will," and just, you know, the more you listen to it, you go to sleep listening to it. Those are affirmations that you're putting. She will. She will eventually, you know, and out of 100 women, you know, 10 women you'll probably, you know, you'll get lucky with out of 10 women. You know, it's a 10% chance, you know what I'm saying, out of that, you know, if you play your cards right, you know. It's even if you just holler and you got no skill, no nothing, you just shooting your shot, you just like, hey, what's your name, how you doing, what's your number, you know. So
don't get lazy with it,
but you know, you got to build some finesse and confidence. And I know for some of you guys it's terrifying. I know Buddy said that he can talk to women, but he don't get the women he want. She will. Hey, so just my thoughts. I know we've been on here longer than I should have, man. Slick Corleone. That's how you know your G is tight. I talked to her to get her that night. That is the thrill of the sport. Hey, man, do whatever works for you, buddy. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna leave you to it. I hope you guys have a good night. This has been another awesome episode as usual. Y'all definitely tune in next week for episode 3. I don't know the topic yet, but you know, as usual, we got the great, from the woman's perspective, got the great Tina Summers, you know, hitting you guys off with game and the perspective from a black woman's perspective, you know, an attractive black woman's perspective, not some dusty, you know, that knows what she's talking about. So take it from her. And, you know, I want you guys to have a great night. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I said, all our information is at the bottom as well as in the description of this video. She has to interview with you to be in. Exactly. Make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys follow us on all social media platforms. Information is below. And with that being said, much blessings in abundance. I will catch you guys on the next one. We are out of here.
All right, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Sorry.
No worries. My mouse done died on me. So here we go. God. All right. Have a good night.